Friends, on behalf of SME Chamber of India and Federation of Indian SME Associations, and also the Art of Living Foundation, we are organizing today's very interesting webinar, the digital dialogue, rather, Art of Living and Surviving in the Difficult Situation, Strategy and Initiatives and Support for SMEs. This is the time now to discuss about how we can support SMEs, how we can encourage them to adopt new ideas, new concepts, and how to survive in this competitive era. Rather, Corona has made a difficult task for everyone now, not only just a SME sector, but every business, every industry, banking sector, even government also facing big problems. So ultimately, why this today's webinar? To create very different type of situation, different type of atmosphere to encourage SMEs, to to give them inputs and empower or mentoring, particularly for the adoption of the new ideas. Friends, today's webinar we have a stalwarts from the different sectors, and let me welcome on behalf of SME Chamber of India, Mr. Janmay Jaya Sinha, who is the chairman of India Boston Consulting Group. Sinha Sahab, welcome at this very important webinar. We have Dr. R. Sitaraman, who is a banker, and he is heading the Doha Bank as a chief executive officer, and he is very interesting person for particularly for supporting entrepreneurs and SME sector, not only in Qatar but in India. He is running his 2-3 branches in India, which is supporting especially SME sector for fulfilling their financial need. We have Mr. Viren Joshi, CEO and President of Sigma Electrical Manufacturing Corporation, USA. He is speaking from USA now, and he has a plants in Pune, Jaipur, and he is always supporting to SME sector for particularly competitiveness, global competitiveness, and empowering them for adoption of the new technology, new ideas, and new concepts. We have Sudhanshu Tripathi ji, Group President, HR Department from Hinduja Group, who is also very knowledgeable, not only from HR, but different sectors. He has a vast experience and knowledge and expertise. I'm sure that Sudhanshu ji, your inputs, your insights will be definitely useful for the SME sector. I welcome you also. We have a very successful entrepreneur, Sri Anil Sabu, who is in electrical sector, and he is the chairman and MD of the Electrolytes Power Private Limited from Jaipur, and he is very active office bearer in electrical sector, and he is heading the EMA also. He is on various boards of the Chamber of Commerce, and he is supporting SMEs to go global, adoption of the new technology, new ideas, and new concepts. We have a Robin Banerjee, who is my good friend, and always is supporting for the SMEs as like a business management guru. He is heading as a managing director, Caprians India Private Limited, India Limited, Nasik region. Friends, SME Chamber of India last 27 years providing handholding, practical support to SME entrepreneurs for particularly starting business, growing business, empowering business, strengthening business, and going global. We have been around all India level, all these places, branches, and we are serving more than at least 5 lakh SMEs in India. I'm sure that today's webinar will be a very useful, because we have today keynote speech by respected Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar ji, a global spiritual and humanitarian leader, who is going to speak about art of living. Our panel will be going to showcase, or our panel is going to share about thoughts, particularly art of surviving this competition. So I'm not going to take much time, and I would like to invite Mr. Sinha to share his thoughts, and particularly on the today's scenario, because since you are interacting with the government, banking, regulatory bodies, and you know the global level what is happening. So I would like to listen from you. Rather, my viewers are very much keen to understand from you how they can survive, how they can adapt new ideas for in this competitive era. Sinha sir.
Thank you so much, Chandrakantji. It's a pleasure to be talking to the backbone of India. The MSMEs actually are one of the critical segments for India in terms of manufacturing, employment, and exports. And their health is also the health of the nation. And so in that context, I wanted to do 4 things. First, just give you a quick bird's eye view about the complexity and the severity of the crisis. The second, just mention a few of the sectors which have been hit. And then third, importantly, give some suggestions as to how SMEs should think about acting at this point in time. So in that context, let me begin with the crisis. This is a very strange crisis because it's a crisis which brings 3 things together, which never come together at the same time. And so it requires experts in 3 different fields who are not used to talking with each other. First, it is a health crisis and people fear for their lives. And that is where all the doctors and all the health specialists are involved. The second is both the global economy and the Indian economy has been very badly hit. And this is where the economists and financial specialists spend their time. And the third is it has come at a time when American elections are coming around, and so geopolitics, the tensions between US and China have grown to a very, very high level. So in this context, first we are going to anticipate that in the world, the $86 trillion global economy will shrink by 10 trillion. So imagine 3 Indias will shrink. This is a very large thing to happen. The Indian economy itself, which in the last 50 years has not had a negative GDP growth, will have a 10% shift from plus 5%, it is likely to go to minus 5%. And the people who have to work together, the doctors, the economists, and the foreign policy specialists, are not used to working together. So it is not surprising that it is taking a little longer to work out all the right answers. The other thing that has happened with this is that the sectors have not been hit equivalently. Pharmaceuticals, FMCG are doing quite well. But on the other hand, realty, tourism, travel, banking, they have been hit very badly. So it is making life very complicated. In all of this, those units which are dependent on flow, which don't have stock, need revenues every month. And when that gets stuck for 3-4 months, they are in bad situation. And many SME have found themselves in this situation. So what should be good actions for the SME to take? Let me give you 4 suggestions. The first suggestion I will tell you to do is to take and manage your cash and liquidity. The government has come out with different actions to support you. Take advantage of that. Government, Mr. Gadkari has said, and others have said that they will release the payments due to you. And please go and get liquidity from banks and from others so that you can ride out the storm. It is very important. And also go and get onto trades so that your outstandings are well understood by everyone. So that would be the first suggestion. Manage liquidity and cash. Take advantage of everything that the government and RBI has announced. The second thing that you have to manage very carefully is safety of yourself and your employees. Do simple things well. Ensure that you wear masks, whether or not you feel like it. Second, keep some distance. Third, keep washing your hands and ensure that your workers are cognizant of what it is that is happening. Tell them that if they have a fever, the cough, many of the common symptoms, that they should not come. This is an important thing and it can be managed. The third thing is embed yourself in the value chain. All the large companies that you serve, go and talk to them. So if I were you, if you are serving the Tatas, go and talk to them. Ask them, what is their plan? And try and see whether you can embed yourself within the value chains of these large corporations. For the Tata Group, I will tell you, Mr. Swami Ramaswamy, you should meet. He is trying to help you all, and it will be good to reach out to him. And the fourth thing I will tell you is to digitize. As much as you can, digitize. This would be an investment which would be very useful. Get a smartphone, get onto the computer, and try and do as many of your activities as you can. Virtually, the world is getting there, and it will in the long term help you. Trust me, it will help you. So try and keep these four things that I have mentioned in mind. Manage liquidity, be safe in your opening. Third, embed yourself in large groups that you are serving as suppliers or from whom you are buying. And fourth, digitize. These were the few points I wanted to make before I hand it over to anyone else, and I will look forward to having any questions that you have. Thank you.
Dr. R. Sitaraman, please.
Distinguished panelists, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure and privilege to be integrally part of this interesting conversation and dialogue. I was carefully listening to Mr. Sinha. We live in a changing world. Extraordinary set of transformation is happening. And global contraction has been given. 4.9% is a global contraction in substance. Whether it's developed economies or developing economies are all going to go through this set of huge, great recession. Rightfully, he summarized it. It is economic sustenance, there is a major risk, social risk, environmental risk, and human risk. We already have over 20 million people impacted. We lost nearly 750,000 people. India itself, over 2 million people. And we have mortality rates are rising on a daily basis. So nobody is immune to it. But the biggest lesson we have learned is human beings have capacity to alterate their substance and form to transform themselves. Time and again, we have done it, and we are here to interpret in positive terms. SME, as it has been laid out today, strengthening SME for growth, progress, and success is a combination of huge transformation. The world itself, if it has to sustain its subsistence in terms of humanity and human endeavor, we have to necessarily transform. And every business, including SMEs, have to transform. There are 5-pronged strategies from my perspective. Government has taken extraordinary measures globally. Nearly 10 to 15% of the gross domestic products has been given in terms of subsidizing. Monetary and fiscal stimulus has been given in terms of liquidity or debt servicing capacity. What we need to articulate is how exactly we will strategize this to have growth. Again, growth will come, but the progress has to be succinct with ethics and proper governance. You have to ensure sustainable value chain in terms of success. How do we achieve it? First of all, recognize that you have to do remedial management. Some of the measures which Mr. Sinha has mentioned is absolutely valid. From disaster recovery to business continuity, you have to ensure the paralysis is not impacting your business in total terms. You have to ensure that first part. Second, ensuring you redefine the business model. It's a complete game change. It's a game change which you have to recognize. Be it digital acceleration, supply chain disruptions, you have to recognize it and you have to redefine the business. And also you have to understand the conventional wisdom has to change, and you have to recognize every part of the business management to see what sort of reorganization is required in your process, procedures, policies, and you're making sure you have a sustainable value chain. That's reorganization in terms of business remodeling. And third thing, you have to rationalize it. It's from a circular economy, we are getting into digital accelerations, and world is becoming one, and world is becoming flat. It's interconnected, interdependent world. Nobody is immune to it. And you have bigger opportunity for you to rationalize it, and in terms of human endeavors. Recognize that there is rationalization and survival of the fittest. So convenience, cost efficiency, you have to achieve through rationalization. And that's a must. And again, revenue remodeling. When it comes to SME, the market access becomes truly global now. For example, Mr. Chandrakant was introducing me as a banker. We operate in 20 countries. Between India and Qatar itself, or the Gulf itself, extraordinary set of reorganization can take place. Cost of capital is cheaper here. Economic free zones are available. Sustainable economic fundamentals in terms of commodity-driven economies, flat tax systems, public-private partnership law, cost-effective labor you can bring in from India. Use it as a gateway to globalize. So reorganize your business model for revenue enhancement. That's a major opportunity. In terms of substance, if you understand, these reorganizations are going to enhance your sustainable value chain in terms of sector, whichever be the sector you belong to, you can find a new successful transformation. And that's what the need of the hour. Once you understand these changing dynamics, it's easy for us to articulate solutions and positivity will come in. When it comes to leadership, we always prevail every bit of crisis. And we can prevail this. We can convert this uncertainty into opportunity. Ethics and morality and governance is not only for challenging times, good or bad, we can come through successful transmission if we have principle-centered values. And that is what we need to administer in terms of eternity and humanity. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sitharaman. Very, very interesting. I would like to request, we'll invite Sudhanshuji to speak on the people management strategy. Sudhanshuji.
Thank you, Chandrakant-ji. It's nice to connect through this new platform to thousands and thousands of my SME friends. Janmejai-ji has spoken very eloquently about the kind of problem that is facing. Dr. Sitharaman spoke about that. I would approach this from a position of optimism. Like in Hindi, we say, "Ye hua, ab kya?" Okay, and I keep thinking of this is a situation where unforeseen to us, we are playing a test match and we are suddenly 20 runs for 3 wickets. So not only we have to survive, but we have to build an innings and win. And whatever I'm going to say in the next few minutes is essentially driven by that kind of optimistic situation that is there. The financial people, the government, the regulatory people will tell you a lot, and I'm very sure it is in public domain of how to survive. And while that is happening, the core lesson of entrepreneurship, you have to remember what brought you to be an entrepreneur, which is essentially to say that I take risks and I think future, correct? So while we are at one end surviving, a lot of our time and effort should be going about building for future. Now, that's a very broad thing. So how do we approach this in terms of what is it that we need to do which will take us to future? Number one, invest. As an entrepreneur, people in stock market and others, when the market is the worst, that's the time to invest. So bring that innate understanding that you have, that it could be worse. This came suddenly to you, but this is also the time to invest intuitively, while the instinct of survival prevent you from going and betting on future, but that's the best time to bet on the future. 3-4 points I would like to make there. First thing is you must invest, but invest in what? Processes. See what happens, you start your SME life with an idea of a problem that you see and a solution that you need to provide. With time, you become very familiar with both the problem and the solutions, competitions come in, and you have to become better at what you do, not only be driven by you or a set of limited number of people, but how does organization get driven in a manner which is very, very tuned to what is required, and processes come in way. So invest in processes, manufacturing processes, buying processes, accounting processes, people processes. This is what will make you survive, because when there is an emergency, processes take over and release you to give you time to solve a problem as it comes, because that cannot be driven through a process. Emergency never comes with an advance warning. Janmejai ji mentioned that invest in technology and all forms of technology. Why digitization only? Invest in technology. In terms of digitization, invest in technology for manufacturing, for automation, whatever it is possible for you. Third thing is, as a value supplier to the customers, you are linked backwardly with your supply chain and in a forward manner with your fulfillment chain. Try to think of that. See how better that can be used. See how a collaboration can come about. And Mr. Sinha mentioned this in an oblique way, go to Tata's, go to government, because these are the kind of links in your chain which are there to help you. But how are you collaborating? How are you getting together? So these investments are very, very important for you. Importantly, invest in leadership. And leadership does not mean you going to a particular classroom or a training. Leadership means think about how does the organization run, a particular department in your company runs. Think about how do you provide leadership to the community that you are there. Think about that the people who depend on you, your immediate vicinity, your workers, their family. Do you provide them with a very optimistic, in control kind of view, or in continuous talk about the pandemic, we become so pessimistic that the pessimistic starts emanating from us. At the end of the day, this story is for thinking beyond survival. I am a very optimistic person, not because I feel like being optimistic. The human story is a story full of handling such pandemics, disasters, and still surviving. As a race, we have not only survived, we have grown and we have become one better. There is no reason we cannot. So while regulation, banking, money supply is coming to you, internally building your own leadership, your own processes, your own collaborating, making organization less dependent on you as an individual is the journey that we have to take. And most of what I have said does not take money, but it's kind of internal thinking. So I'll stop here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now I invite Mr. Anil Sabu, since you are in manufacturing industry, and particularly you are electrifying the industry and houses. So we would like to know how you can electrify the SME sector by giving your knowledge. Welcome.
Thank you, Chandrakantji. Good evening to all of you. It is indeed my privilege to be a part of such an eminent group of speakers today. We all are experiencing unprecedented times. However, it is not for the first time we are experiencing a challenging situation in our businesses. Pandemic or not, businesses are always at risk. And in current situation, uncertainty compounds the risk. We have already received valuable insights from other speakers, and I hope that you all will be benefited out of that. Let me share with my personal experience that has helped me to stay positive and progressing being a MSME member. I experienced such setbacks twice in my life. My first time as new entrant in business world didn't go well and the business almost sunk. Second time it happened to me was because of a split of family business. And I thank the Almighty, the God, that it happened and provided me invaluable learnings. Friends, my first learning is that we have to choose and nurture our suppliers, buyers, and other associates very carefully. They will stand by you in both good times and bad times. Literally, ideally, treat them as your business partners. The second learning I want to share with you, generally people plan what to do, whereas I focused on what not to do. In these times, it's equally or rather more important to have a not to do list rather than to do list. This is basically to identify the task and action which are irrelevant so that you save energy and efforts and invest your time in must-to-do activities. Businesses are future-driven. However, at times, we need to take an withdrawal route to replan our market. The one with less competition and constant flow of buyers to get value for money. And as my friend said, now the global, there's a globe, entire globe is your market. The businesses are not only forward driven, but also calls for withdrawal, which doesn't mean going backward, but by such withdrawal, conserving our efforts and energy to move ahead at better pace, place, and profits. The third learning is replan our targets and position in market. I have always been grateful to my R&D team members who came up with innovative ideas to save resources and expenses, but never made us compromise on our prices. Friends, the day you sell something less than its best value, assuming that you will survive, trust me, friends, you will succumb to failure. Have faith in your product quality, sell less, and gradually grow, but never hand over or succumb to low prices. Because you have to maintain the quality, and quality doesn't come in one day, and the globe is your market. So remember, you have to produce the quality which you can sell in the world, not only in India. When competition becomes unhealthy, we have adopted the practice of withdrawal from that business segment and market. And we have realized that every time in 100% of the cases, this led us to innovate and develop better alternatives and better profits. So focus on innovation, as we have more time to think now and brainstorm ourselves, have resources management, outsourcing measures, moving multiple facilities to one hub for effective management, and better control plus cost saving. And last but not least, stay calm, be positive, and be persistent. Resilience is not what we build overnight. It is in these times that we make us men of steel. Nelson Mandela said, "Do not judge me by my success, judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again." Friends, this is a time when we can rebuild ourselves, and you can place India to the world map, and that will happen only through MSME. Thank you. All the best.
Oh, thank you very much, Anilji. Now I invite.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. When speaking about with Art of Living with respected Guruji on this webinar, I thought it should be nice to talk about how to have the art of business. And ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about art of business for SMEs. And being almost the last speaker, the advantage is that art of businesses have already been spoken about. So all of us, the SMEs, are looking at a situation that how do we repair ourselves? There is a pandemic. It's an unusual situation which the mankind has never seen. And so if we have to repair ourselves, I would like to use 6 words so that we finish very quickly. And the word is repair. My acronym, I'm using a word acronym. I'm using an acronym called REPAIR, R-E-P-A-I-R. So hopefully at the end of this so-called 5 minutes, we are able to repair business, the damages which has been committed or caused due to this pandemic. First, my dear friends, we need to look at to repair ourselves is R. R is relevance. Is my business relevant tomorrow? Many of us, my dear friends, our business may not be relevant. The bad news is that there could be so. But now the good news is that we can make it, if we think about it, we can make it relevant. Let's take an example. I'm in a restaurant business. Chances are that it is irrelevant because people are not walking into restaurants anymore. But can I make it relevant by having a cloud kitchen? And the moment I do that, I can still serve good food at perhaps 1/10 of the cost. I don't have to pay the high street rent of a restaurant. So R is relevant. Ladies and gentlemen, look at the business if it is relevant. E, R-E. E is ethics. Now, how can I speak when Art of Living is there with us today that ethics will not be discussed? Ethics is a long-term view. There is no business in the world which has lasted over 100 years, which has not been ethical. Ladies and gentlemen, we do believe sometimes that maybe we can cut some corners here and there and make some extra money, but the long term, that doesn't work. Believe in me that if you follow good governance and good ethics, the business always stands in good state because customers cannot be fooled, and customers always understand that this business is ethical and they give value for money. R-E-P. P, in my view, is project appraisal. Project appraisal is that project appraisal we talk about if you start a new business. How is this project appraised? But no, but why can't we do a project appraisal when the world is almost zeroized? We have to start from zero. So every business of ours, can we redraw our cash flows? Can we redraw our income and expense statement? Can we redraw ourselves? How will this business perform in the next 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, and 5 years? Why can't an existing business also have a project appraisal? The moment you will do your project appraisal, you will know which projects will work, which businesses are not going to work, which territories work, which territories are a drawdown, which functions work and which functions do not, which commodity works and which commodity doesn't. So project appraisal is something which we should do. R-E-P. A is go back to your drawing board and analyze your cost and analyze your revenue. Analyze your cost. Many of the time in our over enthusiasm to run a business, we forget about cost. Cost is of two types: cost, variable cost, and fixed cost. Many a time when we talk about cost, we talk about fixed cost. We sack people, we get rid of labor, we perhaps get rid of some factories. But what about the variable cost, the productivity, the yield, the maximizing of output from an input? So go back to your cost, go back to your revenue. Is your sales price correct? Is your customers correct? Are you giving the right credit period? Are you collecting the money from the customers? Analyze your cost and analyze your revenue. Relevance, ethics, project appraisal, analyze your cost and revenue. I is investment requirement. How can you do business without money? And there are two sources of money, ladies and gentlemen: debt and equity. So please understand your investment and investment requirement. From where is the money going to come from? Do you need money at all? Maybe you don't. Maybe you are thinking that you did. And if you do, please do work a little bit to ensure that you have enough money for the next 3 months and 6 months. Already Janman Synergy already talked about the cash is the king. To my mind, tomorrow, actually cash is the emperor, king kebab. So to do an investment analysis, to understand what's your investment requirements. That's I. And the R, the last one, repair, R-E-P-A-I-R. The last one is risk analysis, risk management. Every business has a risk. There is nothing which is risk-free and riskless. So what are the risks you have? Could you look at, is it something which you are doing? Maybe your business is based on imports, and maybe your business is based on Chinese imports. Do you have a risk on that? If you do, de-risk yourself. Maybe you are importing something from the eastern part of the world. Is there a risk? Or perhaps you will say, no, there is no risk. Please try to understand. Maybe you are importing from a country where there is FTA, free trade agreement. With the Chinese issues, maybe the FTA is going to be redrawn. What if your business, if your imports are subjected to 10% duty, which is today zero? So please look at your risk analysis, risk management. So in short, look at your relevance, Look at your ethics. Without ethics, nothing works. Please appraise your project management. P, A is analyze your investment requirement. Sorry, and analyze your cost and revenue. I is for investment requirement. Look at what are the money which is required. And last but not the risk, please analyze the risk. The moment you look at the 6 aspects, you will, I think, will be able to repair the business once for all, even in spite of the pandemic, which we are all in. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, thank you very much, Ravinji. This is a really, really important time because we have to repair the mindset of the SME sector because many SMEs are facing. So we welcome the respected Gurudev ji at this very, very important webinar. Pranam Gurudev ji. My name is Chandrakant Salunke. I'm the founder and president of SME Chamber of India. And also I am heading the Federation of Indian SME Associations, which is leading for more than 300 SME associations from India. Pranam again. And I welcome on behalf of all the SMEs and all the participants and all my speakers at this very important. Gurudev ji, we were talking about art of surviving in the difficult situation. And we want to learn from you art of living in this, particularly for SME sector, entrepreneurs, those are, difficult situation, those are, other entrepreneurial development qualities. SME sector always are, putting efforts for developing their businesses, small businesses, small, tiny to small, small to larger small to medium, and medium to mid corporate. And of course, mid corporate to becoming emerging enterprises. Currently, we cannot, give birth to the Ambanis or Kirloskars, but we can give birth to small entrepreneurs by giving hand-holding, knowledge, education, support, and practical support. As Honorable Prime Minister said, Atmanirbhar. We have to, make all SMEs, self-reliant. Because of that only we can compete in the local market, we can compete in the national market, and we can compete in international market. All of you are aware that SMEs in India is not so capable to reach international market. But we are supporting, we are giving support to SMEs. And Gurudev ji, today's very, very interesting topic is SME strategies for SMEs for growth, progress, and success. You are aware that we put a lot of efforts for a growth. We take loan, we take investment, we putting advanced technology, we start growing, we develop our businesses, expand businesses, we double the turnover. But there is a system, there is a the interest for the SME sector for progress. How they can progress? The progress can be done only on the ethics, the good governor, business ethics, and adoption of the advanced ideas, ethics, because most of the SME sector they are not aware about the ethics. When I was pursuing the SME stock exchange, all of you must be aware that, and that time the chairman of SEBI took 3 years to decide that whether we will bring SME sector or not. Then I suggested them, why don't you include the one subject that business ethics and good governance for SMEs. Mr. Sinha, this is especially for your information. Then Mr. C.B. Bhave that time, 2008, 2009, then he realized that, yes, this is a very interesting topic we can include for to adoption of the good governance ethics. So good governance ethics, discipline, honesty norms, then we can do progress. And Gurudev ji, very most important when we can become success. Success we can become when we put growth plus progress, and we can put more efforts for the becoming success for using morality, spirituality, and mostly humanity. On this subject, we can do success. So I will not take much time, and I will invite, because we will be having an interactive session with you, and we would like to hear from you, because without your shabd, your words, your we call motis. आपके शब्द मतलब मोती जैसे है हमारा जब जैसे कोई when we face problem, when we are difficult, we listen to your videos, we watch your videos, we listen your audios. So give a more power in our even mindset or developing mindset. So Gurudev ji, I would like to invite Mr. Sinha. Mr. Sinha is president for India's Boston Consulting Company. I would like to invite Mr. Sinha to interact with the Gurudev ji.
Gurudev, one question that was on the minds of a lot of the SME is that in such troubled times, when their businesses are collapsing, how should they keep their mental balance and keep it free of stress? And second, how should they deal with the ethical dilemma of trying to save their business or trying to keep their employees employed?
Yes, let me first of all, congratulate our SME sectors that in these difficult times you are still holding on. I know it's one of the worst hit due to COVID is our MSME sectors, small and medium industries. And as Chandrakant ji put it, and what is the vision? How we can go forward? What is that we are looking for? How we can sustain the industry. जैसे आपने अभी पूछा सिन्हा जी, एथिक्स एक चीज आ जाती है. You get into this dilemma. अब हम कैसे व्यापार को बचाएं या लोगों को बचाएं? इस तरह की जब डिलेमा आ जाती है, तब हमें इंट्यूटिव पावर की बहुत आवश्यकता पड़ती है. For any business, you need three things. One is intelligence. A perception need to be very clear. That comes with clarity of vision, clarity of thinking. रॉबिन जी, मैं अभी आखिरी में सुन रहा था कुछ बात रॉबिन जी ने बताया. It's not just the money that you need. What you need is risk factor. कितना risk factor लेने के लिए आप तैयार हो? बिना रिस्क लिए कोई बिजनेस आगे बढ़ ही नहीं सकता. You cannot run a business without a risk. At the same time, you cannot just jump into the fire without knowing back and forth. आगे पीछे कुछ पता नहीं चला, कूद पड़े, ये भी नहीं चलेगा. इसके लिए क्या चाहिए? हमें इंट्यूटिव एबिलिटी चाहिए. तो इंटेलिजेंस, इंट्यूशन and innovative spirit. Many times we just run the business as it is running. अरे चल रहा है, it is giving us money. Why to disturb? Why to go for something else? करके रह जाते हैं. We stay contained. So here we are making a mistake. We will not be able to move forward. We don't. So many small scale industries, they still have 1940s and 1920s machinery. उसी से चल रहा है, हम चला लेते हैं काम, वैसे चल रहा है. They are small foundries, but those foundries are so outdated. उसी को चला रहे हैं with all risk factors. Here I would say that we need to be innovative. इनोवेटिव स्पिरिट हमारे में चाहिए. तो एक तो क्लैरिटी, इंटेलिजेंस, इनोवेटिव स्पिरिट एंड इंट्यूटिव एबिलिटी. All these three things are needed, especially when you are undergoing huge crisis, when you are under huge pressure, or when you are facing a crisis situation. What do we do with this? These times you need to have that self-assurance. एक आत्मविश्वास को जगाना है, number one. Second is, first is to build the self-confidence. Second thing is to see that we maintain the hope. If we lose the hope, that is it. You can close down your practice. You should keep the flame of hope alive. अच्छे दिन आएंगे, we will move ahead, things will get better. This type of hope and faith has to be there. Faith in oneself, Atma Vishwas. Second is faith or the hope in a brighter future. Future to हम ही बनाएंगे. We only make our future. So if we think our future is all very dark, we will not be able to move ahead. So we must have this assurance in ourselves. Third thing is that to give these two faith, we must be free from stress. So stress free होने के लिए बहुत आवश्यक है हमें meditation करना चाहिए. You know, we must do meditation. It's a meditation which has brought revolution. If you look into even Microsoft and all these big IT companies in America, they all started as a small business only. They didn't become big. They began as a small business and they had deep faith in meditation. Many of them got intuitive ideas when they meditated. So meditation is something which can empower both the employees and the employer. Employees ko kya hoga? It gives them Atmavishwas, self-confidence, and it relieves them of the stress. So I usually recommend M&M during noon time, midday M&M. You know, 3 M's, midday M&M. M&M is meals and meditation. If everybody in the factory and the company sit together, have food together, and take the 20 minutes to meditate, you know what happens? Their mind becomes so fresh. Their enthusiasm gets revived. They get this inner strength to face any challenge.
Okay.
Simple experiment you can do. You can ask your employees, say, how many of you would like to take 10% cut? You will find many of them saying no, because their vision is limited to themselves and their family.
दूसरा ट्राई कर लो ये वो हेल्थ कुकीज है.
But if you keep them, but when they meditate together, they will see things in a different light. Okay, for the survival of company, if all of us has to give 10%, let us do it. There is a sense of responsibility, a collective responsibility arises, and that is what is all the spirituality is about. Spirituality is not just sitting and doing something, but it is taking collective and creative responsibility for our lives. So this is something that with this culture of responsibility must be introduced in all the small and medium businesses. I would like to bring your attention to one fact, that after World War II, when Germany and Japan was erased to ground, there was one flame that kept these two countries together, that is taking responsibility, taking social responsibility. People in small villages got together and they worked together as a team and brought back the economy of the place. It is not some big companies that came and revived Japan and Germany. They all were based on MSMEs, small and medium industries. They took over right from making watches in the Swiss border to making marzipan in the north of Germany, which is just हमारे बर्फी बोलते हैं, बादाम का बर्फी. So these things started with small scale industries, and with that spirit, let us work together, let us make this company successful. This idea, this goal was what was ingrained in the people. I think we need that spirit in our MSMEs, especially at these times of challenges, that they come together. They feel, you know, though a person is working in a company for 15, 20 years, there is very little sense of belonging to the company. That should change. That is what is ethics. That is what is spirituality. That is what meditation is. Because it gives them that spirit of belongingness, sense of dedication to work. योग को कहते योग कर्मसु कौशलम, कुशलता पूर्वक किया हुआ कर्म ही योग है. The yoga is not just some asanas. It's an attitude in the mind where you give utmost importance to skilling and commitment. So if we can bring this work culture in our small and medium scale industries, I think we can go far, so far that our country is dreaming to achieve. If we can get this country to one of the, superpowers, economic powers of the world. It is not too long ago that we were an economic power on the planet. 33% of GDP of the world was here in India. That time there was no big industries. I would like to remind you, it is all the small and medium industries which took India to that height of having 1/3 of global economy. कि हर गांव में कुछ विशेषता होती थी, छोटे छोटे business, and then business should were also attached to the place, location. Now, जब पेठा तो कहते हैं मथुरा का पेठा मशहूर है, मुरादाबाद माने वो पीतल का वहां बर्तन, यहाँ पर दक्षिण में चन्नपटना means toys. Chennapattna, a small town here in Bangalore, was known for wooden toys, colorful toys for children. They used to buy only this toy. So we need to, for locals, support such local industries. This is a very good opportunity for small scale industries to blossom, as the mood of the nation is to support the local business. इस वक्त हमें इसको अच्छे से उपयोग करनी चाहिए. We have to use this opportunity very well. इसमें आप सब लोगों का बहुत बड़ा दायित्व बनता है. You see, in China, I was told, you go to one small town or a village, वहाँ पर पूरा सिर्फ सुई मिलता, सुई. एक और टाउन सिटी विलेज में जाएंगे तो पूरे विलेज में जस्ट बटन्स चाहना बटन्स चाहिए हो तो उस गांव में चले जाएगा. इस तरह से अब हिंदुस्तान में भी है. टाइल्स, इफ यू वांट टाइल्स यू गो टू मोरबी. एनी सैनिटरी वेयर, मोरबी इज नोन फॉर दैट. यू वांट डायमंड, यू गो टू सूरत. नो लाइक दैट. इवन क्लॉथ्स आर सिल्क्स, यू वांट Mysore silks are Mysore silk or Kanjivaram silk. इस तरह से with location, if we identify our products, that will also become a big hit in marketing. It will ease out the marketing and for buyer also. एक व्यक्ति कुछ खरीदने आता हो, देश भर घूमने की जरूरत नहीं पड़नी चाहिए उसे. एक जगह चले जाओ, वहां सब कुछ, all the small scale industries are all there set, then they can go and buy from that particular place. This is very good message for people who want to import goods from India. So you please keep this in mind. Whenever a particular business someone wants to start a new, it's good you designate them with locations, with places where it is easy for people to come and purchase, and marketing becomes much easier, and the small and medium industries can flourish better with these policies. And in India, we had this before. That is one reason that we always flourished very well. Now, sandalwood, you say, means people only think of Mysore. Sandalwood items, you go to Mysore. You want banana and chips, you go to Kerala. Kerala chips is known, like that. Jackfruit means people think of Bangalore. एंड गोवा माने उसका एक इस तरह से लोकेशन के साथ हमें प्रोडक्ट्स आइडेंटिफाई करना एक अच्छा होगा, क्योंकि आज भी बड़े बड़े देशों ने इस चीज को अपनाया। अब स्विट्जरलैंड में वॉच चाहिए तो आप एक पर्टिकुलर रीजन में जाएंगे, वहीं पर वॉच मिलेंगे। आप एक पर्टिकुलर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में जाएंगे, वहां सारे चीज वैरायटी सब आपको वहां मिल जाएगा। तो हमें भी इस तरह से एक प्लानिंग करना चाहिए। साथ ही साथ मैं ये कह रहा हूँ, आत्मविश्वास बढ़ाने के लिए मील्स एंड मेडिटेशन का कार्यक्रम आप लोग सब शुरू करें।
I think
Everybody shares a meal together, and then 20 minutes, 15 minutes, they sit and meditate. I've made number of tapes in all the languages of the world. तो वो टेप लगा के बैठ जाते हैं तो आराम से ध्यान हो जाए। जब मेडिटेशन करते हैं तो हमारा ब्रेन में इतना बड़ा फर्क होता है। You might have read many articles have appeared in the recent days about how meditation helps one's brain and the hippocampus, and it helps your medulla oblongata, it helps our amygdala. So it helps many parts of the brain to recuperate, recharge, and revitalize itself. So on this, and also it has big impact on our nervous system. आज क्या है, anxiety and sleeplessness has increased tremendously. The other day, you know, the president of Red Cross was talking to me, and he mentioned one thing, that every 45 seconds, one person on the planet is committing suicide. As we are talking, many are committing suicide. And it's not the reason that they don't have food or sustenance, livelihood, they are committing suicide. In spite of having everything, in spite of having fame, you might have seen, abhi Marathi film actor उसने या कोई TV actors 2-3 लोगों ने अभी आत्महत्या कर ली। अच्छे खासे लोग, पढ़े लिखे लोग भी आत्महत्या के दौर पे हैं। इसका मतलब मेंटल हेल्थ पर हमें ध्यान देना पड़ेगा। जब तक मेंटल हेल्थ पर हम ध्यान नहीं देते हैं, हमारे सेक्टर में प्रोडक्टिविटी इंप्रूव होना तो बहुत दूर की बात है, हमारे सेक्टर को सस्टेन करना भी बहुत मुश्किल है। ये मैं
सही बात है गुरुदेव जी। गुरुदेव जी, आपको याद होगा, you have addressed one banking associations program in Pune, I think 2010 or 2011. और उस वक्त मैंने आपको क्वेश्चन पूछा था कि bankers are not giving more thrust or not looking at their potential customer or partners. So you said in your answer, bankers should enhance their interest towards their growth, not enhancement of the interest rate. So I would like to present to the banker, Dr. R. Sitaraman.
Namaskar, Gurudev. Bankers are business enablers, especially for small and medium-sized entrepreneurs. Chandrakantji, Gurudev, I have a question for you. There are growing gap between the haves and have-nots in the society. Similarly, between the large corporation and the small corporation, there's growing gaps, especially post-COVID. What measures should be taken to reduce the income inequality or reduce the gap between the big corporation and the small companies?
You see, when small companies are promoted, and they eventually become big companies. Unlike the PSU, public sector units, which are very big and then big industries, small companies, when they start catering to the needs and they multiply and they get the needed support from the banking system. Now, unfortunately, due to the acts of few defaulters, There is some lack of trust, I understand, in the banks. We have seen many such bank issues that has come up in the recent years, which has shaken the faith of people. Not just in India, it has happened few years back in Europe. It has happened in America, in other parts of the world. But India, it is very recent, so it has some way put a dent on the trust of both businessmen on the bank and bank on the business people. But I think it's just a temporary phase. This will ease out. And virtually, we can see that it's already easing out, and already there is a lot of help that is coming to people to banking system. We can make it a little more foolproof, and a general trust building has to happen. This is something that it takes some time. It cannot happen overnight.
Thank you.
चंद्रकांति आपको अनम्यूट करना पड़ेगा.
हाँ जी. Gurudev ji, I would like to present you Sudhanshu Tripathi ji, who is heading the people management system of the Hinduja group. Sudhanshu ji.
Namaskar, Gurudev.
Namaskar.
Very nice to see you again. You spoke to us within the group a few weeks back. Most of the people related questions, I think you anticipated an answer, but I had one particular question which relates to the ethical dimension. There's so much conversation about pandemic and bad situation, unprecedented, and the conversation about survival. Somehow or other, that need to survive conflates itself to need to be very selfish. But these are the times when we need to go beyond ourselves, be ethical, connect with the people, and be there for each other. How do I now balance this animal instinct of trying to survive myself before anything else with the need for me to realize this Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam that we are very fond of talking about?
This is a balancing act. Like you ride a bicycle, you don't fall to the right or left. You stay in the center. The same way, this is a balancing act. In MSME sector also, you have to see that you are a little more compassionate than normal at this trying times. On one hand, on the other hand, you have to see that your company doesn't sink just because of your compassionate nature. You have to survive. Only if you survive, you will be able to help others. So even in the planes, they give the instruction, first put on the mask on yourself and then put it to the child next to you. I think we have to use the same policy, see that your business is sustained, and then help out the people who are in dire need. बहुत अच्छा.
Gurudev ji, thank you. Can you hear me, Gurudev ji? Thank you.
Yes,
I have attended one program in European Union, the Parliament. I think I forgot the year. At that time, there was a very interesting subject, business ethics, and from that day onwards, Gurudev ji, I have adopted that concept, and I am teaching every entrepreneur. Whenever we organize a conference, particularly for manufacturing industry and for entrepreneurs, and especially young and startups. So business ethics and good governance. We have Robin Banerjee, who is a business management guru. I call as a business management guru. I would like to invite Robin ji to share your points and as well as to question to you.
Namaskar, Guruji.
Namaskar, Robin.
I have met you almost 10 years back in Germany. I used to meet you quite often, Guruji. With your Ashirwad, I'm back in India now. I have a quick question. I know you are running out of time. Ethics is a big dilemma, Guruji, in business. If we are a little unethical, we can make money a little faster. And sometimes we feel that short term is better than long term. So if you can throw some light in business, that why shouldn't we go for short term and why we should think long term? Because in the long term, we are all dead anyway. So if you could answer this or clarify this whole dilemma which we businessmen have, to look short term rather than long term and cut corners here and there and be a little analytical. What's bad about it? Thank you, Guruji.
You know, you look at people who have unethical ways, have earned money, have risen to the top. What we see is they come down crashing. They rise high and they come as fast as, even faster than they rose up. So this can give a very good example for young people to what not to do. You know, we know about many companies in this country, elsewhere in the world, how it had a reputation and then they are now in the jail. The way, the unethical way they try to make money. So this is one thing. At the same time, can you be a Satya Harishchandra and do a business? I would say no. In our Dharma Shastra also it's written, it said that for a sadhu, sannyasi, mahatma, spiritual people, 100% they can follow. But for a businessman, how much leverage can be given to them, to be lenience can be given to them. There they say, jaise namak, bhojan mein namak hai, like salt in the food. How much salt can you put in the food? That much is okay. Suppose, I give you an example. Suppose you are manufacturing a product and it is not the highest quality, but still you can claim this to be the best quality. You cannot say mine is a third quality or fourth quality and you cannot sell it then. You can claim that yours is the best product in the world. It may not be, but for businessmen, that much is allowed. So like salt in the food, a little bit, lenience is given here. And to cut short this whole thing, I would say, like a sannyasi, sadhu, there is no question of they allowing even a little bit of light to prevail. But for a king, a little bit more is allowed. And for a businessman, a little bit more than a king is also allowed. So it is said that you can do your business, claiming yours is the best. So you need to know how much ethics you are following. The more ethics you follow, that much better life you have. But you can sleep happily. You can have a sound sleep. You can take care of your life better. You can enjoy your life better. But if you have too much salt in your food, even you cannot eat that. So that becomes unworthy of consumption. Okay. So same with the business, a little bit lenience is always allowed. But ethics, as I said, is the backbone of business.
Yes.
Without that, nothing can stand up.
Yes. Okay, Guruji. As a very, very successful mediums as entrepreneur, because today's mostly all this webinar is emphasizing on the SME sector. But I would like to present you very successful and very energetic person who is he's a electricity sector, electrical sector, and he's electrifying the industry and houses. So I would like to present you Anil Sabuji.
Thank you, Chandrakantji. First of all, namaskar. First of all, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to His Holiness Shri Ravi Shankar ji for your blessings with his presence and taking out time to look forward for meaningful insights from him. Guruji, ये 2000 की बात है. I was under much stress because I had to restart the business again from zero. And मैंने आपका Art of Living join किया with the help of Sanjeev ji and Rajasthan में, Jaipur में, Sanjeev ji और ने मेरे को गाइड किया, और आई रियली टेल यू कि द वे इन विच यू स्ट्रेस्ड आउट द और माइंड में जो आपने पीस क्रिएट किया और जो स्ट्रेस रिमूव किया, दैट रियली फेल्ट वेरी डीपली विद मी, एंड मैंने रियली उसके बाद से कैसे स्ट्रेस आउट करना है अपने आप को, बिकॉज यू सी इंडियन एंटरप्रेन्योर एंड दैट टू MSME यूनिट, there are number of problems he has to say he has to face every day, and the way in which you do that, it's fantastic. और उसके बाद मैंने 5 दिन आपके आश्रम में भी जाके वो कोर्स किया, and I'm really thankful to you and Art of Living and your volunteers. Even in the factory में भी मैं आपके volunteers को बुला के और वो मैं करवाता हूँ। गुरुजी, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था, क्योंकि जिससे जो आप मेडिटेशन या किसी भी चीज की बात करते हैं, इट इज ए प्रैक्टिस, एंड एट द एज ऑफ 25 or 30 यू कैन नॉट टीच. तो व्हाई कांट वी डू इट राइट फ्रॉम द स्कूल, राइट फ्रॉम द क्लास 3, 4, 5, वेयर इट कैन बी रियली इफेक्टिव, एंड व्हाई आफ्टरवर्ड्स व्हेन द सिचुएशंस is felt like very bad, and then we are introducing. Thank you.
One thing is, there is no age to start meditation. Anytime you can start. Even a man of 70-year-old can also start meditation. He will also have good experience. But this is good, जो आपने कहा, ये सच बात है. बचपन से बच्चों को ये आदत डालना बहुत अच्छा होगा. But they will find their life is much productive, much useful. We are doing these programs now. 58 universities in America alone have adopted this as part of their, program for credit. When you do this course, they get marks for this. So, and then many schools around the world, South America, North America, India also, they have all been, they are taking it, but more and more people should take. For that, all of you should tell the school management and the government, state governments, to introduce programs, meditation, yoga, and all that. So that is necessary, so that children will become more brilliant, more vibrant, and more productive. Today, what is happening is children are facing either aggression or depression. एक तरफ aggression है, दूसरी तरफ depression. ये दोनों से बच्चों को हटाना है, ये काम हमें करना है. हाँ, मैं आप लोगों से विदा लेता हूँ.
हाँ, गुरुजी, एक लास्ट में थोड़ा एक अनाउंसमेंट करना चाहता हूँ. आपके आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग के माध्यम से हम कुछ प्रोग्राम लॉन्च कर रहे हैं इस महीने से, और हर महीने मैं प्रोग्राम करूंगा. और मैं चाहता हूं कि हम लोग चेंबर के SME चेंबर ऑफ इंडिया के माध्यम से हम लोग आर्ट ऑफ सर्वाइविंग एंड ग्रोथ, प्रोग्रेस एंड सक्सेस सिखाते हैं. एंड वी वुड लाइक टू गिव द मेडिटेशन वे, द आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, हाउ वी कैन डू दैट. हम कोलैबोरेशन करना चाहते हैं और उसको डेवलप करना चाहते हैं. सो आई एम थैंकफुल टू यू एंड प्रणाम आपको. और मैं चाहता हूं कि आपके कृष्णन CEO साहब, श्वेता व्यास, निशिता बजाज का इनका बहुत बहुत सहयोग रहा आपके साथ हमें आज जुड़ने का. मुझे लगता है कि आपका जो आज का जो हमें दिया हुआ मेडिटेशन हम हजारों SMEs को भेज सकते हैं, दे सकते हैं. मुझे लगता है आज की इस पैंडेमिक सिस्टम में यही, दिस इज द ओनली टाइम वेयर वी कैन गिव moral support, practical support, and my chamber is working for that. We would like to have your blessings all the time, and we want to make the Prime Minister dream. We want to accomplish the Prime Minister dream, $5 trillion US economy. And Mr. Sinha, Mr. Tripathi, Dr. Sitaraman, Anil Sabuji, और हमारे दूसरे एक मित्र वीरेंद्र जोशी जी US से लगे जुड़े हुए, बट सम टेक्निकल रीजन से वो हमसे देख नहीं सकते. हम देख सकते, बट हार्ट से आपकी तरफ देख रहे हैं, आपसे सुन रहे हैं, और अच्छी तरह वो खुश है. So thank you very much from on behalf of all the participants, and from all SPE members, we want this blessing for for long life. Thank you very much, Guru.
With you, will do. Also, one more thing I would like to mention. Please. Our young people have come up with a new social media app. It's called Elements, ELYMENT. Okay. जब से BBM खत्म हो गया, ब्लैकबेरी मैसेजेस वगैरह समाप्त हो गए, तो उसी वक्त तो हमने सोचा अभी तो ये बना दिए हमारे बच्चों ने, वेरी गुड। इट्स व्हाट्सएप का, फेसबुक का और ये सब जितने भी है, इस सब का काम वो एक ही ऐप करता है। और आपने इसीलिए इसको इंडिया सुपर ऐप कहा है। आप सब लोग इसको डाउनलोड करिए और आप अपने सब एम्प्लॉयज को बोलिए इसको करें, ताकि इसकी सारी डेटा जो है वो हिंदुस्तान में ही रहे।
Very good.
हाँ?
ठीक है, thank you, Pranand. We will continue our discussion. Dr. Sitaraman, your turn.
It's a wonderful combination of people, and with the blessings of His Holiness, I think he summed it up in succinct terms. I think these are changing challenging times. Internal drive is important, and that can give enough resilience for us to see through the challenges into opportunities. And some of the wisdom which has come out of experts, we clearly see this pandemic is going to be an opportunity. It's all in the mindset. The way India is repositioning, I think that's going to be a telling story for us to see through. Our old values are holding good. Our sustainable mission in transforming India is going to be realistic with the digital advantage India is envisaging, with the self-reliance, even during this pandemic, the government policies and pronounced. I think India stands in global terms. There are changing dynamics in terms of politics and economics is converging. This I'm seeing it with clearly sitting outside. This changing face of the world is going to give new opportunities. Our value systems are second to none. And we are here to see, and this century belongs to India. That's the mission which is evolving with a kind of heritage, civilization, culture, and the philosophies which India has transcended, right from His Holiness. I'm a disciple of him. I have seen, I'm a student of Sri Sri University as well. I can clearly see what sort of value-driven systems he has planted across the globe. And we are seeing the transformation today with this paralysis standstill. The world today is looking inward. India is a country to reckon. Indian value systems are going to be the lasting values for generations to come. I'm positive and optimistic about the whole pandemic, Mr. Chandrakant.
Okay, thank you. Sudhanshuji, your comments.
No, it is after we have heard His Eminence Sri Sri, there is not much left to. I'm happy that he talked about Atma Vishwas and that is self-confidence and optimism. And I personally am a great believer that what we are looking forward to in future is not only that we'll recover and do well. I personally am a great believer that India is going to receive a kind of economic eminence in the world, whereof all of us would not only get to participate, but partake of the riches that come our way. I feel our future very secure. I feel our children's future very secure.
Okay. Krishnanji, aapke comments, because you are practically doing for so many activities particularly, and rather this is the time now to support SME, because India is growing on SMEs. Always I said, without banks, SME will not grow, and without SME, India will not grow. Now, SME will not grow without art of living. So, how you can, put your efforts to how we can empower, strengthen, motivate our SMEs to adopt this art of living concept, so they can, learn how to survive in this difficult time. Please.
Need to unmute. Krishnanji, unmute.
Please unmute your mic.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Salonki ji. Firstly, of course, for having this vision and organizing such an event for the benefit of the SMEs who are really the backbone of our Indian economy. And and I also thank all the panelists for having given very useful insights and tips and very pertinent answers to various issues that the SMEs face today. And of course, we had very inspiring words by our Gurudev, Sri Ravi Shankar. So what I like to say is that yes, today we have this situation in front of us. It just became very suddenly without any announcement, and it's not possible for us to control what is happening outside. It is happening, but it's always possible to control and have a control on how we deal with this. That is under our control. So bringing calmness to our mind, clarity to the mind, help think out of the box, be innovative and creative. All these things really will help us to overcome the situation. And Gurudev has touched upon this point. The MMM, the midday meditation and meal, and so many other practices, and our ancient wisdom, which is even now valid. It is eternal relevance to the ancient wisdom. So I'm very happy that we have this partnership as you announced, and we have a very impactful workshops that we can bring to the SME sector. And I'm very happy to announce that the first such program that we have is very soon. And I'm just sharing the details of that on the screen now. I'm unable to share the screen, so can
I? Okay, I will tell my IT person to do that. Meanwhile, Robinji, would you like to say something? Your comments, please.
Speaking after Guruji is like sitting on the lotus feet and saying something which is obviously inappropriate. But it was whenever one talks about art of living or such sessions like this, in my way, it's all in the mind. It's at the end, it's all in the mind. Meditation, of course, helps us to get our mind in order. Nothing around will change. We have to change ourselves to adapt to change which is around us. It's like today there is a glass which is half full with water. The moment is half full with water, do we see the half full or is it half empty? And if we have our mind appropriately, we can see the water is half. We do have water. And the other way looking at it is there is no water. Yes, there are industries which has gone through huge problem, and it is going through huge problem. But in my view, there are equal number of industries, if not more. There are excellent opportunities. Opportunities which did not exist yesterday. Suddenly on middle of March, it opened. The biggest opportunity, I think, and that's what we need to get in our mind, is we, the India, can step into the footsteps of China tomorrow. The largest supplier in the world is China. And even 2 months back, the Harvard Business Review carried a very interesting cover story that who will step into India, into Chinese shoes. And they were overwhelming majority. They've all said, there were 4 professors who wrote that article that say that China, the next power of the world is India. And China is going to get into the footsteps. Yes, you can see the television, you can see the WhatsApp messages or YouTube, which is anti this India-Chinese view. But I think it's a great opportunity. It's all in our mind, as I said. The pandemic is a disaster. It is catastrophic to our health. But to my mind, it has made ourselves, made the country equal, if not ahead of the world. So my submission to everyone, all of my SME colleagues and the members of this chamber, everyone on the webinar is, believe me, ladies and gentlemen, it's a new beginning. It's a new opportunity. The world is in our feet and under our feet, and we can actually control the world now.
Yes. Anilji, brief comments. Very short.
Thank you. I really want to compliment Mr. Robin, and what he has said, that is very true. You see, in the world, I have at least visited 40 countries, in last 5 years or so. But the Indian brain, I tell you, this is the best in the world. The only thing is we have to make it, we have to focus it at one place. We have to really go for the, as Mr. Robin also said, that it is the India only which can replace China. And this is the best opportunity. Only we have to see for the quality, as well as we have to make use of digitalization, and we have to only make world-class product. India is not the market, world is the market. And we can, our MSME can do anything and they will achieve it. Thank you.
Sure. As you said that Indian brain. So I said, Indian brain is also very important for, because of that only all SMEs and industries are working for that. So I would like to request the IT team to, to play the video. It's very interesting.
In an era when ancient wisdom was buried under years of ritualistic practices, when games became wars and wars were played like games, a young boy was found in deep meditation in a quaint village in South India known as Ravi Shankar. He would say, "I have family everywhere. People are waiting for me." He astonished his teachers by reciting the Bhagavad Gita at a tender age of 4. With his education in Vedic literature and physics and his deep and profound knowledge of the spiritual world, he became one of the most prominent sages of the modern world. All through his life, he has been reviving ancient knowledge and creating tools and techniques that have benefited millions across the globe in living a deeper and a more joyous life. In 1981, the Art of Living was established by Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. Nurtured by his care and contribution, the Art of Living has rapidly grown across 156 countries, reaching over 450 million people.
More people are searching harder for inner peace these days. Would you agree?
Correct. One of Gurudev's most unique offerings to the world is the Sudarshan Kriya, a powerful breathing technique that facilitates physical, mental, emotional, and social well-being. He has designed 57 exclusive courses that empower individuals and cater to the needs of a wide spectrum of institutions in the society. Back then, Gurudev started the Art of Living service projects by taking responsibility of reviving a sinking school which had no funds. Today, his intention has manifested in over 618 free schools, which provides education and food to more than 80,000 children in rural and tribal parts of India. From childhood, Gurudev had immense faith in the principle of non-violence. With escalating violence and conflict in the world, Gurudev has brought peace in situations where war seemed like the only solution. Thousands of militants and Naxalites laid down their weapons and chose meditation in the northeast and other parts of India. His efforts include bringing an end to a 52-year-old fierce conflict between the FARC and the Colombian government.
Ojalá podamos los colombianos abrazar pronto el principio gandiano de la no violencia. Coincidimos con el maestro Shankar.
Gurudev has visited Iraq several times and addressed peace conferences to bring respite to the nation and its citizens. He has hosted a series of trust-enhancing interventions in Jammu and Kashmir, providing all the stakeholders to voice their opinions in an effort to restore peace in the valley.
I was named Muhammad, but after becoming a militant, I was called Khalid. We had been taught to operate guns, arms, and train other youths. But now, after doing the Art of Living course and meeting Sri Sri, we realized we had chosen the wrong path. We now want to spread love, and non-violence in Kashmir.
Gurudev's programs have impacted people involved in armed conflicts across the world, making him a global ambassador of peace.
We gather today in this wonderful occasion of tolerance, blessed by our Master of Love.
Gurudev strongly believes that behind every culprit, there is a victim crying for help. The Art of Living prison program is helping to rehabilitate the prisoners. It has reached out to over 800,000 prisoners globally and has brought immense transformation in their lives.
I actually look forward to fights. But now since doing this course, I'm a total different person. I can now walk away from a fight.
I don't think any human being is totally bad. If he's bad, it's only his understanding, his behavior, his actions. But there is a good side to him, and I only see that.
The Art of Living's Welcome Home Troops project has transformed lives and brought veterans out of aggression and depression. 94% of these veterans who were suffering from the unseen wounds of war reported peace of mind and reduced stress and anxiety levels.
That's where this program really probably helped me more than anything, is it kind of gave me myself back, you know.
It gave a richness to my life, a quality of life that I hadn't had for a long time.
The Art of Living has also been working towards the betterment of the environment. 40 plus rivers and thousands of water bodies in India have been revived.
काय पाणी झाल्यामुळे किती बी शेत चांगलं झालं. ते पहिले 2-3 वर्षापूर्वी पाऊस काळ कमी असल्यामुळे इथे पाणी नव्हतं. आता पाणी भरपूर साठा झाला आहे. तरी शेतकऱ्याला याचा फायदा होणार आहे.
पूरे महाराष्ट्र में जल संचय का जो कार्यक्रम हमने किया, उस कार्यक्रम में बहुत ही अद्भुत कार्य ये आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग के माध्यम से गुरुजी ने यहाँ पर किया, इसलिए मैं उनका बहुत-बहुत आभार व्यक्त करना चाहता हूँ.
Conducted more than 100,000 cleanliness drives. Planted over 81 million trees in 36 countries. More than 2.2 million farmers have been trained to adopt natural farming till date. Gurudev found the Shri Shri Rural Development Program Trust to empower rural India. Volunteers have developed thousands of model villages across India, providing solar energy to over 90,000 individuals under Light a Home project. Gurudev's vast global network of volunteers is well known for mobilizing trauma and disaster relief for the affected populations around the world. In a world torn apart by religious, social, national and cultural divides, Gurudev's vision is to see the whole world as one family. Gurudev inspired Guinness World Record events like the World Culture Festival. The festival brought together over 3.75 million people from 155 countries with spectacular performances on a breathtaking 7-acre stage equivalent to 6 football fields by 36,602 dancers and musicians from around the globe, celebrating the diversity of all faiths and cultures. The Art of Living has hosted historic events leading to multiple Guinness World Records.
If you can have a mind of a scientist and a spiritual force of His Holiness Sri Sri Ravi Shankar Ji gives, then we have a beautiful world and happy world and prosperous world.
And organizing a meeting no politician on earth could ever dream of.
The Art of Living Foundation. For 25 years it worked on programs promoting peace, combating violence and drug addiction, empowering our youth. It has an incredible following that cuts through all religions, cultures, and backgrounds. A very, very difficult thing to do in today's world.
Gurudev has been conferred with numerous awards around the globe, including the highest civilian award of Colombia, Mongolia, and Paraguay. The Padma Vibhushan, one of India's highest civilian award, and 18 honorary doctorates globally. He has united people with his universal and simple message that love and wisdom can prevail over hatred and distress. Time revealed the destiny of the millions who came to him to discover themselves.
I think spirituality has always been important, and I think it's even more so important today to really tap into this deep connection with ourselves.
Gurudev has brought about a profound shift in every sphere of human endeavor. His vision for the world is to see a smile on every face and create a stress-free and violence-free society.
The voice of peace, the voice of truth should be heard loud and clear.
Thank you very much. Currently, we know that because of this pandemic and corona, we are facing very, very difficult, rather tasks, difficulties in a business, so many things now. And I'm sure that this impactful workshop, which we have just announced, will be very useful because first of all, we have to develop our immunity. For that purpose, meditation is important. We have to encourage SMEs to improve their mentality, because to whatever the issues and problems they face daily, they have to create their mentality to face the problem, to come out from the problem, and most importantly how they will adapt very, very unique things for the improvement or the innovation, efficiency, and better productivity. So this workshop will be useful for all the SME entrepreneurs, not only owners, but I suggest the entrepreneurs should involve their main workforce, the relatives, those are involved in business, other friends, sisters, and I'm sure that this will be useful. And I assured the the Art of Living Foundation that will be definitely organize this kind of program regularly, because this is the interest of my SME sector and this is the interest of my organization. With these words, I'm thankful to all of you, all the participants, all the viewers, and my members associated with us. And special thanks to all the panelists and the speakers, those have shared there. And very, very importantly, my pranam and special thanks to Gurudev ji to associate with this our today's webinar. So final word, Shweta, from your side.
Salunke ji, it's been an absolute pleasure and honor to be part of such esteemed set of panels, and we are very delighted to have you all on board. And both Nishita and I are very glad to co-work with you all in uplifting the spirit of humanity and participating, in spreading joy to as many families as possible, because stress is definitely not something that one should take pride in or hold on in any way when you have a master like Gurudev and a vision and a knowledge that is so empowering. And we are all of us walking on this path together, and we are all available to serve. Thank you so much, all of you, on this panel today.
Thank you.
I would also like to invite our executive coach Nishita and our advisor to a lot of programs. And
Let me say that Nishita has encouraged me. Now let Nishita use the her bat for a winning shot for the last one.
So Salunke ji, I must firstly compliment you on your vision, your entire vision around what you do for this sector, and particularly at a time like this. And I must give back to you the compliments. This whole idea of doing this panel and initiating the partnership was yours. And I do believe from everything that I have seen that it will make an extremely tangible and very, if I might say, immediate difference. And I'm sure at this juncture, everyone is thinking how. There's this wonderful workshop that we've heard about, but what is it in there and how does it bring to life all the things that our accomplished speakers spoke about: reinventing, being optimistic, being future ready, and having the drive. here's my little take on it. So this workshop in my mind brings alive what I call the ABCD of success. And here's what I mean. So at a time like this, particularly when business plans have all crashed, we all need the ability to adapt, right? This workshop gives you that ability and gives it to you very, very quickly in a matter of days rather than months. Now, in order to adapt, a lot of the speakers also spoke about this need to have the belief in oneself, given all the uncertainties in the external world. And that belief, that confidence can only come from within when the world is falling apart outside. This workshop is a ticket to that space within. What is the C? That's the real question on all our minds, right? So how do we recreate? How do we create new possibilities for our business? All the things our speakers talked about, reinventing and digitizing and technology. So how do we go about really doing that? And I will just leave a question with everyone listening to this today. When do new ideas come to you? Do they come to you at a time when your mind is filled with worry? Or do they come to you at a time when your mind is empty? Through the tools and techniques in this workshop, and I must say they're very, very unique, and I've seen them over the years, I call them the delete button, because they instantly delete every thought and certainly every worry from your mind. And what is fascinating is they do it instantly. So you are literally, in a matter of moments, taken to that quiet space from where ideas spring. And to me, this is the ticket to success, getting the right idea at the right time. And D is, of course, the drive that some of you spoke about, the drive and the energy to continue through these times. And again, that can only come from within. So this workshop really, and this broader initiative that you have envisioned, Salunke-ji, is what I call a quick ticket to mastery over the mind and mastery to ABCD of success.
Oh, thank you very much.
All the very best.
So let me add one E, the entrepreneurs, the entrepreneurship, because now, because of this pandemic, I don't think the new generation, youth will think about entrepreneurship. So we have to put more efforts. Rather, Virenji and Robinji is always, and most important, Dr. Sitaramanji, you are going to play a very important role as a banker. Not only banker, the philosopher, because your inputs are very, very energetic and useful. So coming to the point, this is not end of the webinar. This is the startup webinar. This is startup activities. So let's start working together, and let's put more efforts to encourage new entrepreneurs, encouraging entrepreneurship. How we give the internship like that, entrepreneurship, so that we can develop more business community. And as Honorable Prime Minister always said, that we have to bring more people in business. How we will compete China, how we will compete the global world. This is the time now to come together, unite together, and fight together. With these words, I'm thankful to all of you, all the participants and all the speakers and viewers and listeners today. Thank you very much, and look forward to enrollment for the workshop, and look forward to an active participation in this workshop.
Thank you, Chandrakant ji, from all of us.